Hello, my name is Joe Miller, the author of Advanced Deer Hunting, and today we're going to talk about using deer scents. Okay, so when you put out a deer scent, where do you put it and how do you do it? If you use deer scents, I recommend it. Normally I don't. Normally I use scent free around me, and I like to be invisible as far as sight, smell, and sound. But if you believe in using deer scents, and especially during rut, and pre-rut and rut, that's when I recommend using them. So how do you put them out? Okay. All right, so in pre-rut, use a buck urine. Don't use this. This is doe in estrus, okay? Save this for rut, because the doe will be in estrus then. So in pre-rut, use buck urine. And what I do is I have rubber gloves on. Don't use your hands, okay? All right, so I have rubber gloves on, and I take a napkin, a brown napkin. It fits it. It blends into the terrain here, okay? And again, this is late summer right now. In fall, you're gonna see a lot of green and brown out here, okay? And of course, winter's definitely brown. All the leaves have fallen, it's brown as can be. So what I do is I take a little piece. Again, I have gloves on, so you don't see my scent on this. I fold it. There we go. Put it in a tree this high off the ground. There you go. Stick it on here where it doesn't fall off. Then I take my buck urine, shake it, pour a little bit on here, and there you go. And this would be 30 yards away, 20 yards away from my bow hunting stand. Then I go to my stand, and let's just say my stand's right over there, okay? Well, let's say it's at that tree right there, okay? That's 30 yards away, roughly. So I'm up there in my stand, and I put a little bit, again, take the napkin, put it next to me up there, I'm high up, and I put a little bit around me, okay, on both sides, just a drop or two. And what does that do? That's a cover scent. It helps cover me from them smelling me. Even though I use scent away and scent killer all over me, you know, from my head down to my boots, to include my gloves, my hunting gloves, my long sleeve shirt, still just a little bit of a cover scent is good. And again, I use the same scent. So the main scents are down here. And I might use 1 to 2 to 3 at the most, okay, in the area where the deer trail is. At the end of the hunt, let's say I shoot the buck, and when I'm harvesting him, I don't forget. I get my little bag out, okay, take off your hunting gloves, because you don't want the smell, you don't want this stuff on your hunting gloves. It'll get old and nasty, and the deer will smell your hunting gloves. So go over here, okay, put on my plastic gloves again. I take this, put it in the bag, so that way I don't leave it here. Put it in the bag, and I'm gone. Now, what's the advantage of using this over, say, your typical wick that you can buy at the store? Well, the wick you reuse over and over and over, and that can get stale. And anything stale, the deer are going to smell and say, that doesn't smell right, okay? This, on the other hand, you have fresh scent on it, you put it out, and then you get rid of it. You dispose of it after the hunt. So I recommend that when you hunt. Again, put it out in your kill zone area, or your target area, excuse me. My infantry comes out sometimes. All right, so put it in the target area, and again, 2 little ones up there on both sides of you when you're hunting for your cover scent. Now, let's talk about rut. When rut, do the same thing, put this out, again, so high. We're talking like 5 in the morning, okay, or 5:30 in the morning at the latest, because it's going to get light at 7. Use a doe in estrus, okay, scent, because again, the bucks are chasing does. I like this brand, Wildlife Industries. Some of you guys like Tinks. Some may be Blue, whatever, or Hot Trail, or whatever brand you like that you feel that's effective. But down here, this works really well. So I shake it up. Again, I got my gloves on. Put a little bit on here, you know, soak it a little bit, and there you go. Now I go to my gun blind, okay, which is further away. It could be 50 to 100 yards away, maybe even 200 yards away, whatever the terrain is and the vegetation. And there again, same thing. I'll put just a little bit of this around me on the window sill of my gun blind, because you don't ever know how close the bucks are going to walk and from what direction. They might come real close to you at a different direction where you're hunting. It happened to me last year. I'm looking this way, okay, the feeder's down there, about 65 yards, 63 yards actually. And downhill's the feeder. I'm up in my tall gun blind. And what happened? Big buck walked right across the front. He didn't smell me. I had the wind blowing this way towards me, but also, just like it is now, but also I put a little bit of estrus in that window and behind me in the other window, and that way it helped as a cover scent. And so luckily, well, sure enough, I shot the buck and harvested it, and it's up on the wall. Couldn't help myself. So it was a big buck. All right, so now we're talking post-rut. Post-rut, I don't recommend using a scent, okay? Yes, some of the deer that don't go into estrus do go into estrus and post-rut, but overall they don't. So in post-rut, I highly recommend or strongly recommend you just go out there and spray yourself really good with scent killer. Make sure your clothes are washed, your hat's washed, your gloves, your boots. I mean, your boots are clean as possible. Air them out, put them out in the woods, let them air out there. Don't put them in your garage or in your house or in your closet, because they're going to get the smell of your house or garage or closet. You know, you want them airing out here in the woods. That way they get the smell of the woods. And post-rut, for sure, I would say, no, I wouldn't use a scent. I'd just be invisible as far as the deer smelling me, seeing me, hearing me. So, those are my recommendations on how to use deer scents. Again, my name is Joe Miller, the author of Advanced Deer Hunting. Have a safe and successful hunt. God bless and good hunting.